Tony, I made sure both these games had audio.
That's very good, yeah.
Because the audio is really important in the first one we're going to be talking about.
Yeah,
Tangerine, hey pal. You are live on Tangerine. Please do not swear.
I just imagine like I'm on like a workout ball. And it's just a big tangerine, like a
Yeah.
giant tangerine. Oh, the ones are digital. Sorry.
So, yeah, it's literally I've started writing notes because we are going like 3 months between me playing games and us
Yeah,
recording Tangerine. So I've started writing notes so I don't forget what I want to say. It starts with I'll play anything Devolver publishes. They
yep.
have this great vision for interesting, weird games, and I've wanted to play it since the first trailer because it looked really fun. Ever
I
since I
love
saw the
the
first trailer for
music.
Ape
So.
Out, I was like, I gotta play this. Some people,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
some people say Devolver publishes experiences, but I think there's some genuinely
No,
amazing games that Devolver
yeah.
publishes.
I
Um,
like pretty much all the games they published though. So
I think that the video that made me want to play this the most was the Game Maker's Toolkit video about games that design themselves. Though that's what put it back into my mind and
right.
put it back on my games
It,
list.
It's amazing how
Um,
the walls going all the way up to to infinity basically means you can't see around corners as
Yes,
easily.
so this is
That's
what so this
amazing.
is what I'm gonna get into. This the best way to describe this game, I think, to my friends was like, have you ever played Hotline Miami? It's kind of
That's
like Hotline
probably yes.
Miami, but
Yeah,
with jazz, and you're a
yeah.
300-pound ape.
And
It's
you're
kind of like
closer,
that.
more claustrophobic.
So the really good thing this game is much like Hotline Miami, which is
Oh.
a secret
Okay.
stealth game. Ape Out is also a secret stealth game.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing about the perspective is enemies can't see you round corners, but you can't see enemies round corners
Yeah.
either. So you're playing this stealth game where you have to know you can't see the enemies when they can't see you, sort of thing, which is really, really
And
interesting.
the music shows like that level of anxiety quite well.
So that's another great thing to mention about the music is it's what's they're calling reactive jazz music.
Oh, it's
Um,
going with how you're playing the game.
yeah, so the jazz music speeds up
Oh,
and slows down based on your
that's why
gameplay.
it's so good.
Yeah, it's kind of
Right.
like the director system in Left 4 Dead. I don't know if you know about
I
how the director system in Left 4 Dead
vaguely.
works, but
Yeah.
basically, in Left 4 Dead, when the game gets hard, if you're not doing well, it will make it a bit easier for you, or if you're doing too well and it's too easy, it will try and make it harder, sort of thing. A great example of that in Left 4 Dead would be I think it's called Hard Rain or something like that. Basically, there's a level that's entirely it's mostly set in like these giant grass fields, and it's constantly raining. So when you do better, the rain gets harder, and the effect that has is it reduces your visibility, and it also it means Molotovs last not as long. But then when you start to do worse and you need a little help, the director will change it so the rain doesn't go as hard, sort of thing. So that kind of
Doesn't Cra-
reactive gameplay is really interesting. And like,
doesn't Crash Bandicoot do that as well?
I don't
Like
know,
a scaling difficulty.
I don't know how Crash Bandicoot works. So
Okay. And there's a game. I
green
can't
doors
remember
are
what it
good. Green
is.
doors mean the end of a level. I really
Okay.
like.
There is a game. I can't remember what it was that also has actually like a music system that's similar to this, but it's quite an old game, I think.
But yeah, I saw. If you haven't seen Game Maker's Toolkit video on games that design themselves, he goes quite in depth into Ape Out. I would highly recommend it because this game. I think I own this game on Twitch and the Epic Store. So if you have GOG Galaxy installed, just check if you might already have this game for free. If you always pick up the free game in Epic. At the moment, they're doing like the
Oh my
Christmas
god.
giveaway. Yeah, so it's really interesting because I talked about like Hotline Miami and how it's kind of like a stealth game. In Hotline Miami, you do a lot of like melee kills, but in Hotline Miami, you also get guns, right? But in Ape Out, if you grab someone, they will shoot their gun in fear. So you kind of also have guns in this game, which makes it really
Yeah.
interesting. But the fact you're an ape means you can take an extra shot. And I love the visual way it shows you how much damage you've taken, where you start like bleeding everywhere
Yeah.
when you're
it's
like
pretty good.
taking too much damage.
Can they track you from the blood?
No, they will run
Okay.
after you if they see you. I don't think so. But the really interesting thing will happen when I die. Maybe I'll see if I die soon. Because then that will show you something I want to try. I might just be too good at the game, Tony, so we might have to skip forward. I'll see.
Pro.
So, do you know where this game actually comes from? That's pretty interesting to talk about.
What do you mean by where it comes from?
Like, where do you think the developer started out?
Oh.
So if you throw ghosts with TNT on them, they explode. So you got to be really careful with throwing those
I
guys.
have no idea.
So this was actually an itch.io. This was actually an itch.io game jam game that got so popular it was turned into an actual game sort of thing.
Okay.
So you like grab someone, they shoot, and then you can use them as a human shield.
Yeah.
And you can throw them. Another interesting thing about this game is, do you remember the game Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy?
I recognise the name, but I don't remember the game.
So if I said to you, a man in a cauldron pushing himself up a hill with a sledgehammer, that is Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. He also was the guy who made Quap famously. I don't know if you remember.
Is that the same guy?
Yep, same guy. He's on the credits of Ape Out. Okay, here's me dying.
Shit.
So, when you die, it pulls back and it shows you the route you took. Every single level is a maze. And as soon as you die, you get to realise that... No, because the maze stays the same on the level you're on, but the mazes are procedurally generated between levels. So if you play this game again, the maze will be different. So you can't learn the layout if you go back to a level, but you can kind of zoom out and see the route you took if you're like doing the level over and over again and repeat sort of thing. One of the big things I found throughout this game, which I absolutely loved, was there was this huge theme of nature versus humans. Like the first level, you're breaking out of a lab where people are experimenting on you. This is kind of spoiler alert for the ending of the game, but I don't know how much story you consider Ape Out to have. But if you don't want to hear the ending of the game, then I won't. I'll tell you when you can listen again. I'll raise my hand, guys. Watch out for my hand being raised. That's when you know.
I'm gonna just close your ears, and then I'll tell you when to stop listening.
We're at 7 minutes 49, and then I'll say that, and then I'll do a timestamp in the description.
Will you?
No, I'll forget. Like at the end of the game, it gets to a point where you start breaking into these labs, and the labs are just full of like crocodiles and cheetahs and bears, and you go around, you smash all the glass, and then all the animals come together and they start killing all the scientists, and you're laying all these animals out. Like, there's this really cool theme throughout the game of, it really puts you in the perspective. Ape Out really makes you feel like Spider-Man. It really makes you feel like an ape.
What?
No, it's a shit post from IGN.
Right.
Knock Knock, another great Hotline Miami song. But Bennett Foddy, going back, he's listed as art on this game. So I don't know if he designed the art. I'm not 100% sure. I couldn't find like his like proper credit. I know like, because I think the jazz for this game is done by like a jazz school, like sort of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. You can grab that door and then hold it like a shield, but it's really heavy to grab. I'll skip forward and show you some more of the levels. So sometimes the art style does change. I'm in two minds about the art style. Because so I'll skip back a bit actually. This is a more exciting part where the music's going. The bongos come out when it starts getting crazy.
So what are your thoughts on the art?
On the one hand, I love the art because it's really cool, and then sometimes there were some brief times on the game where I found it made me feel a bit like motion sicky almost. But it wasn't. It was never to a point where I was like, I can't play the game. It was always like this part I kind of find it hard to concentrate, but then it changed so I could play it again, sort of thing. It was never too distracting that it was only for like a short bit of the game. You can see how like the alarms are going off, and now everything's orange and I'm white and all the enemies are black. And then you get to a point where you go to the next level. Each level's set up like a vinyl, and then you play through the A side and the B side, and then when you change record, you go to another record, and that changes like the theme.
Oh, okay. So it's entirely based. Okay, fair enough. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Okay. So this is another cool change that I thought to show off. So I'm grabbing this so I can destroy the cage. Then that pulls out the power. So now all the lights have gone off and the art style's changed again. And now I can see like the spotlights of the enemies, and they can only see me when they have the flashlight on me, sort of thing. This is where I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if you get this by looking at it, but this is kind of the part where I was like, the flashing lights are starting to make me feel a bit weird. But
I'm feeling a bit weird. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
It's more the walls though. Like the walls.
The walls, yeah.
In your face, changing shape and things quite quickly is what's causing it, I think.
I'll skip ahead a bit because. Okay. I'll show off the records and show off a new level. Because it is kind of a story, but it doesn't really make sense. There's not really a story, but this is Matt. This is so you see here. Look, Bennett Foddy is listed on the disc, so I assume he's quite involved. I guess with the design, because famously he's made quite a lot of games.
Yeah.
But this is so it starts off pretty grounded. You're an ape escaping a factory, and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, sort of thing. And then you go to High Rise, which is you're an ape at the top of a skyscraper, and the sniper's trying to take you down. And it only gets like it gets more far-fetched from there, sort of thing.
Okay.
So that's something cool with High Rise is if you need to take out enemies, you can just kind of push them off the out the window.
430. How did you get you up here in the first place? Why did they put
There was an elevator scene, Tony.
Right.
But then the windows also add another element where you have to be careful not to get too close to the windows, because then snipers start trying to take you out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going back. You're going down.
I'm trying to get to the bottom so I can escape. The whole game is called Ape Out. I love that animation. It's so cool.
Yeah.
But you do get... So when I finished the game, it did unlock a new level called Ape In, where there is one bonus level where you have to go in and, like, I assume it's his son. You go in and you save a baby monkey. So you break in, and then you have to break out again with the baby monkey. Which is pretty
That
cool.
could have been a Wilhelm screen.
Yeah, this game's amazing. I'm getting super distracted. I just love watching gameplay of this.
Yeah.
I love playing this. I've played through the whole game, and I kind of want to play it again just by watching this. See if I can show anything. I want to show more so people are like something else will catch. Oh yeah, this is good.
What the hell?
The fucking military starts getting... So usually you grab like a guy and then he fires one shot. Then you can grab like these military guys and they just start blasting away as soon as you grab them. And I was like, oh, that's kind of unrealistic. But then I was like, man, if I got grabbed by like a massive gorilla, I would just start going crazy and just start firing everywhere if I had a gun in my hands.
I'm not sure I'd be able to or not. Like,
you wouldn't have a choice. It'd be like an involuntary reaction.
I'm more thinking... No, but I'm more thinking you get grabbed, like you're not really still your hand on the trigger as easily anymore.
You get grabbed, you don't really have a choice at that point. For sure.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm not sure you have fine motor control anymore.
Rotomotory skill. Okay. Okay, we'll move on now because I've been talking about Ape Out for like 15 minutes. If you haven't played Ape Out and you are at all interested, highly recommend. Definitely, probably one of my games of 2020. that I've played in 2020, I should say, because it came out like a few years ago now. So these are the snipers I was talking about. You can see like the sniper beams there.
Are they one-hit kill snipers?
I think so. I don't quite remember.
Ooh.
But yeah, move on to the next game.
Oh!
Frog Fractions Game of the Year edition. This game confused the fuck out of me at first. Cause, okay, I know this was a Flash game, and then it got turned into a Steam game. And then I was like, do people really love this weird game so much they wanted a Steam re-release for the Game of the Year edition? Because I looked at this and I was like, oh, because literally, I think it took me like 3 times until I understood what the game actually was.
Right, you thought it was a fraction.
I thought this was the game.
I do love how bollocks, like, it's just random numbers, like 1.1 times 10
Yeah, because I started playing and I was like,
how useful.
These fractions don't make any fucking sense. What is happening?
It doesn't help you at all. Like, it starts like a children's game, like, oh, it's gonna be like 1/2, 1/5, 4/5.
So, before I go into Tangerine, if you're at all interested in playing this game, I would say, what the fuck is wrong with you? But I will go into it saying, Frog Fractions is one of those games where the less you know about it, the better, almost. Yeah.
I really like the start and the kind of the second part, and this was like ages ago I played it as a Flash game, but I think I stopped because I couldn't be asked anymore.
Yeah. Anyway.
I do love
then
the
you
concept,
can start
though.
moving your turtle around. But basically, I'm going to go into spoilers for Frog Fractions. The game's not really about frogs doing fractions. I'm going to come out and say that to you right away. Basically, it's a very old Flash game, and the idea is, it was one of the first Flash games where the idea is you have to do what the game doesn't tell you to do, sort of thing. You got to try and escape the game, sort of game.
Yeah.
So basically, what you can, I don't know if I do it in this video, but what you're supposed to do on this turtle is, instead of going left and right, because if you want to keep playing this game, there's a type, the game will let you keep playing the bullshit game for as long as you want to play the bullshit game. But if you want to play the real game, you have to take your turtle or dragon mount, and you either have to go down, because you get all these upgrades, and all these upgrades do is basically you buy lock-on targeting, and then you can uninstall lock-on targeting, and then you can reattach lock-on targeting, and you go, actually, lock-on targeting was quite good. So then you buy the upgrade to reattach lock-on targeting, and there's an upgrade that goes, yeah, but we're not really a frog if we have lock-on targeting. So then basically, it puts you through bullshit hoops until you either give up on the game, or you are so frustrated you just try and break out of the game.
So far, I'm finding it quite funny though. Like, I feel like I like the start of this so far. And
I don't think I have it in this recording, because I think I did a recording. I was like, what the fuck is happening in this game? And then, but maybe that's the best way to show off Frog Fractions, because you're going to be like, what the fuck is happening? True. But I would say, if you want to get started with the game,
go down.
Instead of pressing only left and right, try pressing up and down.
Yeah,
and that will help you.
Yeah.
Because this game, this is going to be spoilers, guys. This game has Dance Dance Revolution sections. It has like old school text RPG sections. It has fucking spaceship battle sections. There's lots of different genres.
I feel like this is.
There's a maze section where the narrator just explains a fake history of boxing, and that was pretty. I like that part. That was pretty funny. That it was just you're forced to move around really slowly, and he just explains how boxing used to be just standing around next to each other in gentleman's boxing until somebody invented the punch. And by that point, the punch had become too popular for gentleman's boxing, so everyone just started using the punch. Like, there's some funny moments in it, but overall, I think with this game, it's a product of its time. Frog Fractions. I think it's more
an experience.
It's an experience, but I feel like it's not an experience for somebody in 2020.
Okay,
The net
interesting.
current day. I feel like if you have nostalgia for this game, or you have nostalgia for like old Flash games where you have to think outside the
Yeah,
box, you're
this is what
going
I
to
think I
enjoy
would
this.
experience it.
But for
Yeah.
me, I mostly found a lot of the sections just frustrating and kind of a waste of time.
I, I still like the fact we just watched you play Frog Fractions.
Well, I get it to most people who like me for the first time when they played through this didn't know how to get to the real game. This is Frog Fractions.
It's still funny though. I just love the like, what the fuck? Why am I typing to kill these things now? Sushi.
I am a big fan of Bookworm, the
Mm,
the PopCap typing game. So I enjoyed this
yeah,
section.
like the text assist, for example. Great game.
Or typing of the dead or whatever it's called.
Yes, that's a funny game. Is that a deliberately bad game?
I don't know. I haven't. I think I own it, but I don't know if I might not even own it. I'll have to check. Guys, check GeoGeoGalaxy. If you think you own a game, get GeoGeoGalaxy. It's so much easier to go. You know how many times I've almost accidentally bought a game I already
You
own.
already
I
yeah.
look. I'm already quitting the
I've
game, Tony, because I'm like, fuck this game. I don't know what's
I've
happening.
I've luckily only done. Okay, can I just say me watching this makes me want to play the game. So
Really.
yeah,
Oh, one really important thing I have to point out. This was really annoying. The game doesn't save if you close it.
yeah, that's the worst feature. I didn't like the sound of.
Because I was like, oh, this is a game I can just play for 20 minutes, hop in, hop out. But
Yeah, that
it
makes
seems
sense.
like because I assume if they made the Steam version, they might have the ability to save the state of
Yeah,
the game. Nope. So if you
that's
want,
dumb.
that was the thing that annoyed me the most was
Yeah,
when I played through Frog Fractions, I was like, oh, I'm really not enjoying a lot of this. But the thing is, if I close it, I'll never get to the end because you have to play this in one sitting because there's no save function, which I
that's
think
pretty
is
dumb.
a kind of an oversight from
Yeah,
the Steam version. I
like it
don't.
makes sense for a Flash game, but if you're gonna make it into a Steam version, why not add it?
I do like the fact that we have a Flash game archived on Steam since
Oh
Flash
yeah,
is it's dead now, right? They've stopped. They've done the final update for
there are emulators
Flash. Yeah.
and archive and like yeah.
Mm.
It's still sort of going, but you have to manually activate it, accept warnings. I think Scon Retorts still has Flash enabled through some wacky ways.
But yeah. Overall, I would say Ape Out. No matter who you are, play that 100%. That's my 100% recommendation. And then I would say
Frog
Rock
Fractions. Give it a go.
Fractions. Don't play it. I
Give it a
would
go.
don't. I would not recommend it for most people, which is why
Give
I'm
it a
saying
go.
don't play it.
Okay.
But if you really want to play this game, it's free to play on Steam. You can try this game, but you will have to play it in one sitting, and you will have to be the kind of person who likes weird, wacky Flash games that are products of their time and probably don't really hit with audiences in our
Well, I
modern
still
day.
like this though, so I think
Tony,
it's
if you want to
great.
play just this game, you could not even break
Yeah.
out the game. All
Yeah.
right, that's the
True.
end of Tangerine. Goodbye.
Bye.